Well, this week, people who work for state labor departments from all over the country are here in Buffalo at the Convention Center for the Interstate Labor Standards Association's National Conference. It goes from today until Thursday. This morning, New York State's Commissioner of Labor gave some opening remarks to the crowd, and Labor Commissioner Roberta Reardon is still here in Buffalo and joining us live in studio tonight. Ma'am, thanks for sticking around.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, a bunch of stuff to ask you about, sort of the labor market and that sort of thing. But first, this convention that is here, what was your message to the folks in attendance this morning?
So this was a really exciting meeting. It's the 61st annual meeting of this group, and they do the labor protections across the country and in the territories. They come together every year, once a year, to exchange new ideas. How are they doing their work? How can they do their work better? And I was so proud to go talk to them about the work that we've done at the New York State Department of Labor to modernize our practices. We have wonderful new laws that have been passed in the last couple of years. New York State has some of the strongest protections for workers, and we love to share that news with all the other parts of the country.
There is a lot of focus right now on the federal labor department, the Bureau of Labor Statistics. What is the unemployment rate? How many jobs are really being added? How are you making sense of all of that? And how is the labor market in Western New York and in New York State?
So the labor market is looking steady across the state, and New York and Western New York, you're doing really well. I'm here actually to visit a number of new industries that are getting stronger here in the area. I was just at Buffalo Filmworks this afternoon, and we're going to go to Buffalo Games tomorrow. So things are good, and we are keeping an eye on what's happening. We have our own labor statistics department, but we really depend on the federal government for a lot of the information that we get. So we'll just have to wait and see how that plays out.
Unemployment has been in the news in the state, and the unemployment hotline, there were some issues with some delays. What is the update on that? And if someone sadly loses their job, which happens all the time, how quickly can they get those benefits? So
we encourage everybody to apply online. That is the fastest, most effective way to do it. Sometimes you will have to talk to a rep, and we try to expedite that as quickly as possible. The really great news about unemployment this year, the governor has paid off the $6 billion unemployment insurance trust fund debt, and that is a game changer. It stabilizes the system. Businesses are getting a break. They're not going to get that extra bit of payback that they had to do for the federal government. They're not paying back the interest. So that's one bill that businesses will not be getting. For workers, we can now raise the weekly benefit to $869 maximum per week starting in October. We couldn't do that while the debt was there. So this is a brave move. It's a really solid move for both businesses and workers, and it really stabilizes the system. We know that on average next year in 2026, businesses will save $100 per employee, and in 2027 they'll save $250 per employee. That's serious money.
I just saw an article about this. Is this newly announced or just part of the budget?
It was part of the budget. It's one of those things that sometimes it's hard to get people's attention for this kind of thing. It's a little wonky.
There's so much stuff in the budget.
Yeah, but it's a great move, and I really thank the governor for doing this because it really stabilizes the system, and it's a very important system for anybody who loses their job. We want to make sure that it's there. Yeah,
we've done some reporting here on essentially wage theft, and I know that's something that your office is keenly aware of and going after. What is the focus there in making sure that if I'm a worker, whether I'm a tipped worker, whether I'm at a fast food restaurant or in a factory, that I'm getting the overtime that I'm due, that I'm getting the tips that I'm due? Correct.
So wage theft, we enforce wage theft laws for everybody in the state. The governor gave us some great new tools this year. We finally can go after. We had a lot of carrots. Now we have some sticks. We can go if you're stealing wages from your employees. We now have the ability to assess liens and seize property if you are not paying those wages. This is after you've gone through the judicial process. But if there's a hearing against you, if you're not paying, we can recoup that money, and that is really important. People work very hard for their paycheck. Some of it should not remain in their employer's bank account.
I only have a few seconds left, but there's been some criticism of local DAs here for not prosecuting wage theft. Do you work with DAs' offices?
We work with DA across the state. We're happy to do it. We've had some really big cases downstate. Come to us. We will work with you because wage theft is a serious thing, and you work hard for that money. You should have it.
New York State Labor Commissioner Roberta Reardon here in Buffalo for a conference and kind enough to join us in studio. Great to see you. Thank you.
Thank you.